Yo, Cicero here. Today I wanted to play another visual novel. Now this is a cute romance novel that I saw and it looked pretty cute, so I wanted to play it. So this is Her Tears Were My Lights. Let's get right onto it, shall we? This game is also by Nom Nom Nami, which is a mouthful, but I kinda like it. Darkness, darkness and nothing, in all directions. At some point I started thinking, shouldn't there be something here? Something, anywhere. So I started looking. I don't know what exactly I was looking for, but as I wondered, I spotted a light in the distance. As I approached, I found another, and another. A trail of burning bright lights. They traveled out and away, their steady glow piercing tiny holes in the darkness. They fascinated me. I decided I'd walk until I reached the source. I found a girl. She was sitting on a bed of those stars. It was a beautiful sight. Oh, someone's here. What should I say to her? Are you crying? Excuse me, but have you been crying? I felt so lonely. I can't seem to stop. But but now someone's here. I don't think someone would come, but you're here. Well, I'm so happy. If you're happy, then stop crying. Honestly, Space. I cannot do female voices, but I'll try my best. Huh? How did you know my name? I don't know. It just slipped out. How did I know her name? She never told it to me, but something about her feels so familiar, like an old friend. This isn't fair. I didn't even introduce myself. Now I have to ask for your name. It's time. Time to get a watch. Time. What are you doing? Saying it 8 times will help me remember. 8 on its side is infinity. That's how I never forget. Huh, I see. So, time. Where did you come from? I don't know. The start? If I had to give it a name, I'd call it the start. Huh. Huh, the start. Yes, It would make sense to begin at the start. Does that does that make where we are now the middle? But you started here, didn't you? I don't know if we can call it the middle. We can. This place has changed. Has it? Yes. You're here with me now. Time. So before was the start and now is the middle. It made sense in its own way. This girl is very straightforward. So if there's a beginning, is there an end? Probably. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. Hmm, there probably is one. What if the end is sad? The start was lonely. Will the end be lonely too? I don't want that. Wah. You cry a lot, don't you? Yes, because look, whenever I do, these stars come out. Sniffle. I already noticed, but maybe I'd be rude to point that out. I can't really explain it, but somehow they make me feel a little less lonely. So from the start, you've just been making stars. Yes, you see, there is nothing. I want to put something. Does that make sense? So the stars are celestial tears. Got it. I guess it does. What kinds of things do you do, Time? Move the universe. I I can make the universe move forward, backwards. I can jump to any moment I've already experienced. Wow, that sounds like hard work. Making stars sounds harder to me. No, that's easy. Watch. Wah. I didn't mean to make you cry again. Actually, this is a good chance to demonstrate. Huh? Alright, I've remembered the outcome. Now I'll rewind time to when I said making stars sounds harder. Then I can try to stop her from crying. I need to rewind. Dot dot dot. I have a button for this. It's at the bottom of the screen. If I can't make use of the rewind, I'll end up going in circles. And if I get stuck, I can always reset, but for now, I need to rewind. Dot dot dot. Reset? Are you sure you want to abandon this timeline? Interesting. What? Huh. Interesting. Huh. Darkness, 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 and nothing in all direction. At some point I started thinking, shouldn't there be something here, anything? Those were the thoughts I had before, and I did find something before. So I started looking. I was looking for that light, and as I wandered, I spotted it in the distance. A trail of burning lights. They traveled far and away. Their steady glow pierced tiny holes in the darkness. They fascinated me. I decided I'd walk until I reached the source. I found a girl. She was sitting on a bed of those stars. It was a beautiful sight. Oh, someone's here, Sniffles. What should I say? Are you crying? Excuse me, but have you been crying? I felt so lonely. I can't seem to stop. But now someone's here. I didn't think someone would come, but you're here. Wah, I'm so happy. If you're happy, then stop crying. Honestly, Space. Huh? How'd you know my name? I don't know, it just slipped out. How did I know her name? She never told it to me, but something about her feels so familiar, like an old friend. This isn't fair. I didn't even get to introduce myself. Now I have to ask for your name. It's time. Time, 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 time. What are you doing? Saying it like 8 times will help me remember. 8 on its side is infinity. That's how I'll never forget. I see. So, time. Where did you come from? I'm not sure. It's hard to describe a place with nothing in it. Were you alone in the dark too? Oh no. Thinking of that makes me sad. Wah, sniffles. You're crying again? I I can't help it. When I think of how you must have felt, I just wah. The more she cried, the more stars came out. They were beautiful, but I couldn't help but they weren't think weren't there enough stars already? I couldn't quite place the reason why, but I definitely didn't like seeing her cry like this. Here, I'll describe it in a way that doesn't make you start crying. Huh? The place you came from? Okay, sniffles. If I had to give it a name, I'd call it the start. The start? Yes, it would make sense to begin at the start. Does that make where we are now the middle? But you started here, didn't you? I don't know if we can call it the middle. We can. This place has changed. Has it? Yes. You're here with me now. Time, so before was the start and now is the middle. It makes sense in its own way. The girl is very straightforward. So, if there's a beginning, is there an end? Probably. It would make sense for that to be the case. You think so too? I wonder what it's like. Okay, there was a small delay in that. I hope that doesn't show in the recording. What if the end is sad? The start was lonely. I don't want that. Sniffles. Wah. You cry a lot, don't you? Yes. Because look, whenever I do, these stars come out. I already noticed, but maybe it's rude to point that out. I can't really explain it, but somehow they make me feel a little less lonely. So, from the start, you've just been making these stars. Yes, you see, there is nothing. I want to put something. Does that make sense? I guess it does. What kinds of things do you do, Time? Move the universe. I can make the universe move forwards, backwards. I can jump to any moment I've already experienced. Wow, that sounds like a lot of hard work. Making stars sounds harder to me. Hey, don't start crying. Just prove how easy it is, okay? Huh? How'd you know that's what I was about to do? That's my power. You already cried before, so I went back to the moment before you you did in order to stop you. Wow, you're incredible, Time. It was nothing really. You know something. You know something. I only just met you, but it feels like we've always known each other. I did know your name from the first moment I saw you, so maybe your feeling is true. But I can't remember talking with you like this before now. Just like I can't remember crying before you changed what happened. It must be a paradox. Hey, Space, how did you find me in the first place? I just followed your stars, and here you were. Oh, that means... Hey, if we ever get separated, I can just cry, that way you'll always be able to find me. Sure, but I don't know if I'd like the thought of making you cry. I won't have to as long as you're here with me. I'm I'm kind of afraid to go back to being alone. Alright, I'll stay. It doesn't seem like there's anyone else out there anyway, so I have no reason to leave. Huh? Anyone else? Oh no. Is there someone else out there? Don't you think we should try looking for them? Yes, we should. You don't want them to feel lonely, do you? Exactly. I'm happy you understand, Time. We wandered into the void together to see if we can find anyone else out there. But all we found was darkness, and the more darkness we found, the even more space would cry. I didn't like seeing her cry. I didn't want her to feel lonely. Much to my relief, she agreed to rest when I suggested it. I closed my eyes for a while, but when I opened them again, I was back in the dark. Space? No response. What happened? All the stars are gone too. Did I make a mistake? I'll rewind from here to before I closed my eyes. Dot dot dot. I'll rewind from here before I closed my eyes. I won't close my eyes this time. I have to pay attention so I don't miss what caused everything to go black. Time, you look so serious all of a sudden. Something strange happened, but I don't know what it was. Something strange? Scanning the cosmos, I noticed something seemed to be blotting out a group of stars in the distance. I spotted the anomaly. I just I could just barely make it out against the dark background of the void. There was someone out there after all. As soon as they noticed I spotted them, they disappeared. I squinted towards the area they've been standing only a moment before, thinking I could easily find them again at such distance. But very suddenly, she appeared, right behind Space. What are you? No. She phased right through space, somehow erasing her from existence. The stars around us dimmed as she disappeared. This is what happened before. This is what I've missed by taking my eyes off her. It was awful. I wanted it to stop. Where's Space? Once stood before me, there was only nil. What have you done to Space and the stars? You took away all the beauty. Now all that's left is the void. No, but it's beautiful like this. But it's beautiful like this too, isn't it? No, I don't like it. Bring back Space. Bring back her stars. If that's how you feel, I'll lock you in this moment until you understand. No, I won't accept this, but what can I do? If I return to the start, if I start over now, I could change this. Otherwise, I'll be trapped in this loop. No. Um. Uh. But if I start over, I could change this. Interesting. Okay, let's just fast forward. What should I... Hold on. Darkness, darkness, and nothing in all directions. But I knew someone was out there. I just have to find her again. So I started looking. I wanted to find space, and as I retracted my steps, I spotted her, light in the distance. There was space, sitting on the bed of her stars, just like I remembered. Oh, someone's there. What should I say to her? You're alive. I thought something terrible happened, but you're right here. I'm glad you're still okay. Huh? She looked at me like she's never seen me before. But of course she hadn't seen me before. This space was new. How could I have expected her to remember what happened? In my excitement to see her alive, and well, I'd forgotten that role. That's actually pretty sad. I decided to try reenacting the first memory. Never mind. Ahem. Excuse me, but have you been crying? I felt so lonely. I just can't seem to stop. But now there's someone here. I didn't think someone would come, but you're here. Well, I'm so happy. If you're happy, then stop crying. Honestly, Space. Huh? How'd you know my name? Of course I know your name, even though you didn't tell me it to me the first time either. This isn't fair. I didn't even get to introduce myself, Sniffles. And now I have to know your name. It's time. Time. What are you doing? Saying it 8 times will help me remember on its side. 8 on its side is infinity. That's how I'll never forget. Except it's impossible for you to remember when I go back to before I told you. So, time? Where did you come from? Let's save. The future. Would you believe me if I told you I came from the future? When I thought I was all alone, you proved me wrong, so I'll believe whatever you say. Besides, there's this feeling in my chest that you are definitely someone I can trust. I'm glad. Well, it's true, I did come from the future. We've already met before, and you wanted to search this void to see if we could find anyone or anything else. That does sound like something I'd want to do. Did we find anyone? Someone found us, but it's hard to explain what happened. I don't want to scare her. We didn't find anyone. That's why I think we should stay together. Oh, it would be sad if there was anyone out there and they were feeling as lonely as I was, Sniffle. I lied to her. She said she'd believe whatever I say, and I took advantage of that trust, but I didn't know how to tell her what happens. I wanted to avoid the ending I saw before. If this path didn't lead to something better, I could always make a save point and rewind from here. That's what I'm going to do. So, return. Hey, hey, time. If you're from the future, why did you come here? Well, I'd be able to talk to you again. Then, in the future, we're not able to talk anymore? Oh no. Uh-oh, I'll reassure her so she doesn't start crying again. Yes, we were separated, but I'm going to change it so it doesn't happen. That's a relief. I should figure out a backup plan too, so that you're not the only one working hard at this. Hey, how did you find me in the first place? That's easy. I already knew where you'd be waiting for me. But I'm talking about the very first meeting. Before you knew where I was, what about then? I just followed your stars, and here you were. Oh, that means, hey, if we ever get separated, I can just cry. That way you'll always be able to find me. Sure, but I don't know if I like the thought of making you cry. I won't have to as long as you're here with me. I'm kind of afraid to go back to being alone. I don't want to be alone either. Hehe. I'm glad you feel the same time. Would it be alright to just lay here together just for a while? If you want to, then I don't mind. I held her hand so that Nil wouldn't be able to sneak up on us. Our figures interlaced so easily, it was as if they belonged together, like this. But that was impossible. That feeling, even if it didn't make any sense, only made me hold tighter. As long as I held on to space, Nil wouldn't be able to take her away. We could lay here and admire the stars together and never do anything else. I'd be satisfied, just like this. Time, can I ask you something? Hmm, what is it? What happened before? What was it that you came back in order to change? I already told you we got separated. I know, but I definitely would have been crying if that happened. Couldn't you have just followed my stars? I couldn't. You weren't able to make them anymore. That's terrible. Yeah, it was. I'm glad you came back. If we couldn't find each other, I'd want to change that too. We lay there in silence for a while. I had the feeling space could sense I was waiting for something. She didn't ask what. As long as I held on to her, she had nothing to worry about. Nil, surely. She was watching us from somewhere the light from space stars didn't reach. I wanted to be ready. I wanted to be able to stop her when she appeared. But we fell asleep. No, no. I let it happen again. I lost space again. Time. Don't go back anymore. Why are you doing this? Dot dot dot. She's just going to trap me here again, isn't she? Nil. Stay. 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 She must be okay. So they must. She must be lonely. That's actually kind of sad. Okay, so we'll load to right here. This is actually go on for quite a bit for a supposed short visual novel. If I see anything else, I'll mention it. It's just a lot of repeating dialogue. No, I need to tell her what happened, otherwise it'll just turn out the same. Space. Listen to me. I came from the future where you and all of your stars were taken away by someone called Nil. Huh? I'm here to try and save you from that fate. I want you to know that. Why didn't you say so earlier? I don't know. I didn't want to frighten you. I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry that I let myself get taken away. It's not your fault, Space. You don't want to be alone either, do you? If you feel the same as me, then it must have hurt. It's okay. I'm able to come back to prevent things like this from happening. Please don't cry. Sniffles. Okay. Alrighty, guys. I'm gonna end it here. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm going to probably make a few episodes like this and upload them in order. So, hope you have a wonderful day or night, depending on where you live, and lovely jubbly, and